Hello, buongiorno a tutti, hello back again. It's me, Edgar, in Cremona. Today is the 2nd June and I am all by myself here, and so I got a new microphone. I hope you will appreciate. I'm not so convinced about it by now, but I just thought let's do a video and see how it turns out, okay? People are asking me a few questions, and I think it's maybe interesting to get to know me throughout these. I put it together 22 questions which just came in within a few minutes, and I just wrote them down. I posted them here and I will answer them as quick as possible, okay? Let's get started, okay? Edgar, why did you become a violin maker? I became a violin maker because I'm a kid of 5 children, and probably being the smallest of these children, I always tried to make as much noise as possible. One of these nice stories is that they just asked me, Edgar, why are you screaming so loud? I don't know, I just stand there and was just screaming, you know. So I just started to make instruments quite early. With 13 years I started to make my first guitar. In the beginning it was like an electric guitar because I didn't know how to make an acoustic one, and then later on I also made with 15 years an acoustic guitar. Could you imagine to do something else than violin making? Is this pretty difficult to imagine that there is something else I can do, because violin making is like an octopus, and it takes you, and from the morning I wake up until late at night, there's always something to think about and to work on, and I really love it. But my interest is everything that is moving, which has rolls. From when I was a kid, in 1977 I got my first skateboard, bicycle, electric scooter, Vespa, Moto Guzzi, Solex, everything that has wheels. I'm really attracted and I just love it, you know. What attracts you on the violin making? Working with wood is one of the things which I probably love the most. When I have to work with metal, I'm getting like a little bit nervous, and it's when you get dirty on your fingers, I don't like that. On the other side, I love varnishing, and there I even use my fingers to apply the varnish. So I don't know, it's violin making has mainly the woodworking, which I love. And then there are many aspects of it work, from chemistry to physics, marketing, video recording, the web page, management of people, getting people together, team building. It's just the fairs, traveling. It isn't how I in the beginning thought. You're just sitting there. The first years you're just sitting and invest a lot of time in that. But it's just a so complex work, and I would have never imagined that it is so life fulfilling how it is. And I think it's just my biggest fortune I have in life, that I could do what I love, and I'm really happy, you know. Next question: when are you going to retire? Bad news for you, I will never retire. I'm son of my father. My father is now 84 years. He's a surgery, has his own studio with all his employees. He's getting older. He sees that there are some limits, but he still keeps on, even so the whole family says, come on, stay home, stop working. If I just think now I'm 54, in 30 years I should not work. Impossible, you know. There's so much things to do. I'm sorry, I cannot retire. Life is too short. Next question, what do you be known for, Edgar? This is a very good question. It's very complex, but for people out of the making and just by looking at all the instruments, they look all the same. In making, something I really attract to is that developing my own style, my own school, so all the people who work with me bring part of this, my style, away, and you can see it in their work, and this is actually what I want to increase more and more. It's difficult to describe, but it is if there's a exhibition of Cremona's makers, you can immediately tell this is Edgar, and this is probably the biggest compliment for me if somebody recognizes my work. So even so, I make copies of instruments, and on my webpage and on my page you can see a lot of these things. I'm always searching to make a copy, but not a bench copy in order to fool somebody. I want just to underline my fingerprints, making the copy of that or that instrument. I'm on a good way to proceed, and I'm working every day to come to this goal. Beside violin making, what do you love to do? Well, beside violin making, I love to stay with my Elena, with my family, with my daughters, and with Lorenzo all together. This is just nice. I just the day before yesterday we had a nice afternoon and dinner at my kids' place, and this is something I can just stand there or sit there, listen to what they talk, and it's just is a very nice feeling. I like in my free time in the morning when the other ones are still sleeping, I like to run, to make sports, and if I proceed like this, I will be world champion at the end of my life. And I am very interested in technique. I like to restore, keep and maintain things, from cars to parts of the house or whatever. I'm attracted to keep things alive and to maintain them. Okay, Edgar, are you competitive? Yes, I think I am very competitive. Even so, I don't show it too much, but probably I'm always measuring myself, and I'm always checking what others are doing, and I believe I'm very competitive, and this is very difficult to get me down. The more you try to push me into a corner, I will always have a new idea in order to proceed, in order to reach my goals. Usually I try it with a smile and a good idea. Okay. Edgar, do you think it is possible to be the best in what you are doing in your section, for instance? It's a very, I heard that already, and I was also somehow attacked by this because I had a slogan, the best sound of Cremona. I believe it is possible. I believe it is also possible for everyone to be the best, and that's actually what I'm trying to transmit to my competitors. As soon as you try to imitate somebody else, you will not be better anymore. So the best is the one who is exactly making what he loves to do, and this is a little bit the education I received from my mother. And the idea, what I think, where Cremona could have a big success if every maker elaborates his own style by doing and is trying to understand what he likes. Okay, what does it take to have success? Wow, okay. I would say it's very easy to say you need a lot of passion. You need to love what you're doing, and then you can proceed with everything. If you're now cleaning up the roads, or if you're a gardener, or if you're a lawyer, or a doctor, or a violin maker. If you have the passion in doing what you do, I think you will always have success. Next question is a little bit a question where I always think there are a lot of people judging others when you're out on the road. Who is driving what car? And some people think that everybody is identifying themselves with the choice of car they're driving. And when you see me with my Fiat 500 from 1966, or with my BMW from the year 2000, the E46 Cabrio, or my Mercedes E-Class station wagon, I love them all, but I do not identify myself with these cars, okay? I could identify probably a little bit more with the Tesla S, but no need now to change car, you know. It's also as long as my cars are driving great, I just use those, okay? Edgar, are you rich? This is a question which very often people ask me, or they don't, adults don't ask me. Children, when they come with their parents and they see my workshop and they ask how much is one violin and how many violins do you make, and they calculate and they say, oh, this guy must be rich, okay? I don't think that I'm rich, because richness is measured in time. How long can you live without working? And recently I think I put a lot of my capital into the company in order that everything continues the way I want it to continue, and I think I did a good right choice. So I'm definitely not rich. Do you feel rich, Edgar? Yes, of course. I feel very rich, especially this great thing that I have a work which I love. I think this makes me feel extremely rich compared to many other people's, and my advice is just do what you love and you will feel very rich. Isn't it always the same, making one violin and another violin and another violin? This apparently seems to be very repeating. We only have violins, viola, cello, and double bass, right? Apparently it seems a good question, and also from younger people, when they come here, they ask me if this is always the same and how many violins do you make a day. The more you make, the more future projects you have. And I have now even a customer who asked me that I design my model and I make him the first instrument of this model. So this is one project. Then I have another one with a wood from 48,000 years old, a seasoned wood. I have another project for a customer to make a bench copy of the Testore. I have another copy with a Stradivari Chacon. I would like to search another Testore model. On the cello I want to make the Gofrilla, and I want to make a Ruggeri. The first one will be the Ruggeri, and then I want to search for a Gofrilla. And on double basses, I would love to make every day a double bass, but probably if I proceed to make one bass a year would be already very good, okay? So this is what it takes. So it's not always the same, it's always something new, okay? What do you search to increase in your own work? What do you search to increase in your own work? This is a tricky question. You would say that because I wrote them I had time to think about, but I didn't think about it and I wanted to make it in front of the camera. I don't know exactly, but you know, probably when the first time you make something, when you're a small kid and you make a drawing and you show it to other people, you're really proud. And then you become older, and at a certain point you feel ashamed what you're designing or what you're drawing, right? A little bit like when you video record yourself and you can't even recognize your voice, and you feel a little bit of a shame about that. in making, it happens completely the same thing. You make an instrument, and then you would say, now you're proud that you made the violin, you should come and show it, and you feel extremely ashamed for what you did. You yourself, since you know exactly every single step and every single mistake and everything, you feel ashamed. It's not such a great feeling, and the more you keep on working, the more you understand that you, first of all, you get the ability in the first years, 5-10 years, to make everything you want to make, and then slowly you start to make exactly your taste, and before you start the instrument you already have a clear idea what it should be. And that's actually the part where I'm searching and increasing the most. Try to underline my personal taste more and more, and that's where I dedicate a lot of time. Edgar, how does it feel when you sell your master instruments? That is always a nice moment. It's a nice moment because some people bring it down to the point he just wants my money. By the way, the money isn't actually that bad because it's the part of the emotion of the other part of the other person who is purchasing the instrument. So for me, the money is just the emotion of the other person, and is the amount of emotion I tell them how much I put it into that instrument. But beside that, in that very moment, if somebody is telling Edgar, I'm going to buy your master instrument, I feel somehow that this person understood me. Finally, another person who understood me and appreciates it so much that he's going to buy, that he's certainly able and can afford it, because not everybody is able to afford it, but he appreciates it that much that he's going to buy it. And that makes my maximum of happiness, to know that other people appreciate what I have done, and all the time until that point I invested into making this instrument to be like it is in this moment. Edgar, what is your favorite great master? Well, certainly Stradivari is, you cannot avoid him. Even I know it's boring, everybody says Stradivari, but Stradivari is an icon, is just definitely from the craftsmanship. If you look at it, it's just incredible, has a super good craftsmanship. I like also the Guarnieri because he has a little more character, and he knew definitely, even on the very roughly made instrument like the Olepol, you can tell he knew what he was doing, and he was searching definitely a bigger sound compared to Stradivari at that time than Stradivarius and everything. But with the one maker I'm somehow attracted, and I'm always is Carlo Antonio Testore from Milan. This is something. Somehow I want to make a little bit more models of Testore. I think my favorite great master is Testore. Okay, Edgar, what step in making do you love the most? This is actually a good question. I like to make the arching. But the varnishing is actually, the varnishing and the sound adjustment is probably the two where it's most satisfying in that very moment. The varnishing, because you sit there and you really feel like an artist, while making an instrument, it takes days. By varnishing, it's just a short moment, and you are there yourself with your instrument, pigments, put the color, adjust a little bit here, a little bit there. It's a little bit like modeling, and probably like for a woman putting makeup and all this, you know. So it underlines what you have made, and I think it's really something very nice. Edgar, do you play No, I don't play. I don't play the violin. Certainly I take a violin, I take a cello, I take every instrument and can play a little bit, but I cannot play a piece of classical music, okay? This is actually very bad. But I never had the patience to play for a longer time. I would love to be able to play, but there's so many other things to do that I've never had time to play, okay? And yeah, but on the other side, this is also advantage, because when it comes to sound, I'm probably the one who has the most clear idea how it should sound, and I'm always the first one who says, here it isn't open, here it is not strong enough, these strings are less strong than the other ones and things like this, because I don't have my own instrument I'm used to have when I was playing. So I think it's even an advantage being a maker and not playing. But you certainly have to train your ears very well. Edgar, what attracts you of an instrument? It's always more or less the same thing, that if I see an instrument of another one, that I can definitely see the person. I can see the person in the instrument, what he likes, how his way of proceeding, if everything matches together, if it's real, if it's made by a master or by a beginner or a student. The character is the right answer for this question. Edgar, is it a good investment to buy an instrument? Yes, of course, a master instrument and one of my instruments, I definitely believe it's a good instrument, it's a good investment. And at the time I say it, people always laugh at me, but time passes by, and more often I can see that people show up and they want to sell me their instrument they have bought, that they have sold, like what was that one? There's one here. That one was bought in 2007, 13 years ago, and they just want to give it back, you know. And then I said, yes, of course, I take it back. I love to take it back, and I will sell it for the new price, and you get your price you paid for it. And then what? I paid like 14,000, and now it's 27 something, and the prices are still going up. Oh, no, then I don't sell it, you know. So at that point, years goes by, and then you realize, wow, it's a good investment, you know. So instruments, prices are going up. And me, myself, as long as I live, I will always try to buy it back for the price you paid without the consumption tax, and I sell it for the new price, and within 1 year you get your money back. And this policy proceeded very well, and recently some people, instead of selling me back their old instrument, they order another one. And I think this would be, if you can afford it, this would be my advice to do so. I just would suggest everyone who can afford it to buy a master instrument. If mine is too expensive, we have also instruments, Marco Dotti, Filippo Anselmi, Anna Rieti. Important is that there's one person behind the instrument and you buy this instrument. And all these instruments later on, if you want to trade it in, I always take it back for the same price, and you pay the difference to get one of my instruments. So it's, I think it's a good investment, okay? Edgar, who is your master in making? Wow, my master in making, well, at the violin making school was Riccardo Bergonzi, and then I had a few other makers. I went around and looked with Greg Alf and Joe Curtin and Machold in rare violins, Julie Reed, and so on. But my real master is Karl Becker, who passed away already, and but I really have to thank him a lot for what he has given me and what made it possible to become what I'm right now and what I'm going to realize to make in my career in violin making. This was really something outstanding, and thank you very much. And who is your master in life? In life, it's definitely my wife, Elena. she actually opened up my horizon and made me understand how important it is to have somebody to love and who loves you. Okay? If you have some more questions, put them down below and I will answer them. If there are many, I will make another video, okay? Hope you liked this video. See you next time. Bye bye, and tell your friends. And if you want some more information, sign up at Patreon. Bye bye, ciao ciao.